Have you ever felt like you're holding yourself? Like there's a part of you that you avoid or suppress? Or maybe you've noticed patterns in your life, like unhealthy relationships, self-sabotage, recurring negative emotions. These all could be signs that your shadow self is influencing you in ways you do not realize. Welcome to today's deep dive into shadow work, a powerful psychological and spiritual practice to uncover, understand, and integrate the hidden parts of ourselves. We'll explore what shadow work is, why it matters, and then I'll introduce you to a technique. It's quite unique, but very effective and very easy. So stick around because this might just be the key to your personal transformation. So what is shadow work? It is the process of uncovering the unconscious parts of ourselves that we suppress, reject, or deny. The term shadow work comes from psychologist Carl Jung, who described shadow as the part of our psyche that holds repressed emotions, desires, fears, and traumas. Think of your shadow as a hidden storage room in your mind, where you've put away all your memories and traits that were supposed to be bad or unacceptable. But the problem is, just because you ignore them doesn't mean they go away. Instead, they influence your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in subtle ways. So why is shadow work important? Ignoring your shadow can lead to a lot of things that you don't realize and you won't like. So unconscious self-sabotage patterns, unhealthy relationships, emotional outbursts, or even emotional repression, lack of confidence, lack of self-acceptance, even feeling disconnected from yourself. Sorry guys if you hear that clicking in the back, my dog's chewing on something. But when you do shadow work, you start to integrate these hidden parts of yourself, leading to better self-awareness, emotional healing, and personal transformation. You learn to embrace your whole self, not just the parts that are socially acceptable. So, for example, I'll give you an example how to catch a shadow in yourself. Say anybody who triggers you, anything that triggers you, and it doesn't need that kind of a reaction, but something bothers you, it really gets to you, and that's your shadow. Like if you get it in fits of rage, or you have emotional outbursts, or you're repressing too many emotions, that's your shadow self. Another example of the shadow would be, say you find somebody arrogant just because they are very confident, and say you're afraid to take up space. So that would irritate you. That's your shadow. Now that you understand the shadow, let's talk about a unique method for working with it. It's called the mirror dialogue technique. I love this. Before I get started on the technique, I also want to mention the shadow doesn't have to be all bad. You could be even hiding good qualities in your shadow. It's very possible. I'll give you an example, my own example. When I was a kid, I was very quiet, kept to myself, mostly in the books, and I didn't talk to nobody. And my relatives, my family, they called me a saint, Mother Teresa, and stuff like that. Very timid, that's what they called me. So, and I didn't like that. I hid that part of myself, but actually that's a very good part now I realize. So that's another shadow. The mirror dialogue technique combines self-reflection, emotional release, and self-compassion to help you understand and integrate your shadow self. So, step 1, set the scene. Find like a quiet, comfortable, private space where you won't be disturbed. And with a mirror, sit in front of the mirror, have a notebook and a pen handy with you. Step 2, meet your shadow. Look into the mirror, straight into your eyes. Just observe. Take your time. And what emotions show up? Do you feel some kind of discomfort, sadness, resistance, shame, whatever? Write it down. These are clues that these are the parts of yourself you have been avoiding. Step 3, ask and listen. Ask out loud. Ask yourself, what am I afraid to face about me? What quality am I afraid? What behavior am I afraid of? What part of me do I reject or suppress? And what do I want to hear right now? And you'll have thoughts, memories, feelings, whatever come up. Write it down. Don't censor yourself. Let it flow. Step 4, engage in a conversation. Now imagine that your reflection is the part of you that you have suppressed. Speak to it as if it were a separate person. Ask what it needs and why it feels the way it does and what it wants you to understand. For example, if you struggle with self-worth, your reflection might say something like, I feel unworthy because I was ignored as a child. Step 5, affirm and integrate by acknowledging what you've learned. You can say something like, I accept and love all parts of me. I'm safe to be my whole self. I honor my shadow and allow it to heal. Write down any insights, whatever thoughts, write everything down, then take a deep breath and give yourself gratitude for showing up for yourself. Give yourself a big hug. Now respond with compassion. Say, I see you. I hear you. I totally understand. You're enough exactly the way you are. You're made in the image of God, and God loves you. Now respond. By practicing the mirror dialogue technique, you'll build a better connection with yourself, allowing you to heal, grow, and live more authentically. Shadow work isn't about fixing yourself. It's about reclaiming parts of you that have been lost. If you found this helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share your experiences in the comments below. What challenges have you faced doing your shadow work? I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, embrace your shadow, embrace your light, and keep growing.